What's going on, Journee Seekers? It is your girl, Simone Renee, and welcome to Her Journey Within Podcast, where we are going to discuss healing, growth, evolving, great communication skills, leadership, how to be a good friend. Whatever you are searching for, you are going to find it on this podcast, period. Okay? I am really happy to be back. First things first, I want to give a shout out to all of my women warriors who have been supportive of All Things Women Podcast, who have been taking a chance with me for the past year or so, and I truly want you guys to know that I love you 100%. But through that, sometimes you have to understand that you can't hold on to everything, and you have to understand that at some point you have to learn how to let go of things and to start fresh and to start over. And so I want to invite you into transitioning from being a women warrior to a journey seeker, and to take this journey with me as we discuss all of the things that we need to truly and genuinely and authentically heal from. Okay, so I'm excited. God spoke to me, and if it looks like I've been crying, I have. Okay, and I'm gonna explain why. God is amazing. Okay, my friend and I'm trying to figure out how I can say this. God bless my friend. Okay, God bless my friend, what I like to consider her new beginning. Okay, she has 2 beautiful kids. And her and I went through similar situations as far as emotional trauma during, I'm just gonna say around the time of COVID, right? And God was showing us everything that we needed. You know, we felt like our backs were against the corner. Backs up against the wall. We were damn near in the corner, but we never stopped having faith. We always, were seeking God or sought God, or we always made sure that we stayed prayed up. Like, we literally had this understanding of one another that just made our relationship grow and grow and grow and grow, stronger and stronger. And so I go on Instagram today and I see that she posted, and mind you, I haven't talked to her since my birthday, and I'm kind of one of those type of people where, like, I don't have to hit you up every day. I don't have to see you every day. I don't even have to call you every day. But we would talk, here and there on Instagram. Long story short, she posted something that was representing, like, her new beginning. And it just brought tears to my eyes, because I remember her helping me go through my emotional trauma while also dealing with her emotional trauma. And I just started thanking God for freedom. I started thanking God for allowing her to be able to get what she's been praying for. See, a lot of times we want God to just bless us, right? A lot of times we want God to just, we think small-minded when it comes to God. Oh, bless our current situation right now, or bless my mom, or bless my dad. And those prayers are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I would never say, like, I feel like you have to be specific with God with what you want in order for God, like the Bible says, you have to ask for what you want. You know what I'm saying? You have not because you ask not. God wants you to be very specific with him. Not only does he know what you need, but you still need to be very open with God, right? I believe that wholeheartedly. In my friend's defense, I watched my friend. I seen it in her. The energy was there because I watched how she helped me get through my struggle emotionally when I was going through a tough time. And I've never met this girl prior to me going through COVID and all of that. I've never met her, never known of her. So God places people in your life for a reason. And I thank God, and I'm trying not to get emotional, but I thank God for her freedom. Because my friend, I called her today and she just had the most beautiful glow on her face. And I could just, her kids looked happier. She looked happier. And I thank God for that. See, you have to be willing to thank God for the blessings that he gives to people in your circle. Okay? You have to thank God for blessing those around you, because that authentically, because she was happy for me when I got my stuff together. And I am just as happy for her that she is entering a new season of her life of freedom. So, and the girl, I know you're going to watch this. I am so proud of you. I thank God. I thank God. Because I was there to witness such greatness. I was there to witness you at your darkest, at your lowest. And I'm here to witness you at your highest. And I thank God for freedom. What is it that you are thanking God for today? What has God done for you or anybody in your life on today that you can openly and earnestly and honestly say, God, I thank you for blessing my friend, my family, my friends, my kids, me, my spouse. Openly, honestly. It's some things that I've been praying for that God has purposely made me wait for. But the fact that I know that he blessed my friend, it gives me, it encourages me, and it helps me to find joy in my waiting. We have to find joy. Oh God, thank you, God. We have to find joy in our waiting season, because what we're waiting for is preparing us for something that we've never experienced. Our darkest moments are preparing us for something greater. My grandma always said, when you reach new levels, you face new devils. And sometimes mentally we think, I got this, I got this, I got this. But God is telling you, hold on. You have to learn how to be patient, and you have to learn how to trust me, to know that my timing is always perfect. And God, I thank you for her. I thank you for my freedom, because I feel free. God has blessed me, don't get me wrong. God has allowed me to get through a lot of dark moments, dark times, dark days. But I feel even more free watching my friend feel free. Does that make sense? God, I thank you for freedom. I thank you for freedom. I thank you for freedom. Oh, Lord. This episode, oh, Jesus, I have chills, y'all. I have chills. This episode is about the first stage of healing, right? I had to do this. I had to start over. I had to be open and honest and willing to say, you know what? You can preach healing all day long, but Simone, are you even doing the work? Right? I tell my friends all the time, you gotta heal. You gotta heal. You're holding on to things. And I didn't realize that as I was telling them that, I was actually speaking to myself, because it's a lot of things that I healed from, and there's a lot of things that I've just gotten over. Two different things. And so we're going to talk about that. And we're going to break it up into sections. So this is step one. Acknowledgement. To acknowledge something means to make it aware that it has happened, it's happening, or that it was done. Same as it happened, right? It's calling things out head first. You hurt my feelings. I didn't like the way you talked to me. I didn't appreciate when you said this. It's calling what I like. It's the elephant that's in the room. It's calling the elephant out. It's calling those demons by their names, right? It's calling that fear out. It's calling that guilt. It's calling that parent. It's calling that spouse. It's calling yourself out. Whatever it is that is hindering you from moving forward in your life, you need to call it out by its name, right? Acknowledging something is so important, because a lot of times we get into this space of denial, will we start believing that nothing happened. Or we say things like, I can't believe this is happening to me, right? And we got to stop with that. We have to stop being so quick to brushing things off and saying that, oh, that never happened, or I don't remember that happening. Because a lot of times we're not giving ourselves credit. We're playing with our minds. And another thing that I've witnessed in this stage of acknowledgement is when my elephant is another person, right? My elephant is my situation. My elephant can be myself. But if I am not open to taking that chance of moving forward in my life, and I want to hold on to something that's hindering me, I am trying to force myself to believe that what I know is happening isn't really happening. And in that case, I'm messing with my mental mindset, my mental headspace, I should say. I'm trying to trick myself into believing that what I see is not there. And the more that I keep telling myself that it's not there, the more that I believe it, right? That's an issue. We have to start calling things out by their names. Why is acknowledging something so important in your healing stage? Because it's about recognizing that you need to heal. It's like what I consider accountability. Take ownership for what it is that got you here, whatever it may be. Now, you may feel like, well, I don't really need to heal from anything, and I don't really need to do this, that, and the third. But baby, you do. Because a lot of times we've gotten so accustomed to like not speaking up about certain things, so we allow people to speak to us in kind of way, or to treat us a certain type of way. And I like to bring this up when it comes to relationships, both romantically and platonically. Romantically, a lot of times we let our spouse or our partners get away with a lot. We don't even feel like dealing with the fight. We don't even feel like dealing with the attitude. So we'll say things like, I'm gonna let you have it this time. Or we don't say anything at all. Or we'll say things like, I'm not doing this with you today. If you want to be mad, go ahead and be mad, right? But when we say these things, it's merely because we don't want to argue. We don't want to have this, we don't want to fight. So in our partner's minds, sometimes they feel like, oh, well, because she didn't or he didn't say anything, the next time they're not going to say anything. And the next time after that, they're not going to do anything. Until we allow those little things to build up to where now when we do finally have enough, we explode. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. And when it comes to platonic relationships, I have friends that have never really been super reliable when it comes to just showing up for me. They want me to be there for them every day, every second of every hour of every day. And because of the type of person that I am, I'm really big on teach me. I'm going to teach you how to treat me. So if I'm giving you 100%, I expect 100%. Okay? If you can't give me 100%, communicate that, right? It sounds really simple, but for some people, that's way too complex. So I've lost a lot of friends because I've expected things, or I've placed expectations upon them to get them to be like me, and they are nowhere near how I am as far as a friendship, right? But a lot of times we let things slide, right? We're getting older. Our friends have kids now. They're getting married. They're buying property. They're traveling around the world. They're trying to find themselves. We're all going through different stages of our lives, right? So a lot of times we're not always able to do what the high school friend or the elementary friend could do. Be there every day at school and hang out every day and eat lunch together. Nowadays, we got jobs, businesses, we raising families, we got these men, these wives, you know what I'm saying? Like, we literally have real responsibilities. So we don't always have time to sit and go out. But I'm really big on, if you want to, you will. If you truly want to, you will plan it out, right? I say all of that to say that so many times if we don't learn how to communicate, we allow people to walk all over us. And that's the frustrating thing when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, and we have to acknowledge what's happening to us. We're not crazy. If you feel like somebody got you messed up, they have you messed up. And here's how you go about it, right? So that it doesn't escalate into something else, right? Prime example, my husband and I have this thing where we explain to each other, like, it's multiple ways to take something, right? What that means is it's all about the tone. It's all about the tone and the delivery. If you come to me and said, hey, I'm hungry, can you make me some food? Versus, I'm hungry, go cook. I'm gonna be more willing to get up because you asked me to do something versus you telling me to do something. I'm gonna feel more defensive if you're telling me to do something, because now I'm gonna feel like, first of all, who the fuck you talking to? Right? I'm gonna feel like I have to match that energy to where now I'm getting looked upon as masculine, okay? And I don't want to do that. I don't even want to have to go through that, because now I'm going to feel like I got to match your energy, and 10 out of 10 chance it's going to turn into an argument, and now you're not eating anything unless you go in the kitchen and you make it yourself, right? A lot of times before we start assuming things, we have to ask for clarification. If you say something a certain type of way, or if you ask me a question in a way that I do not understand, instead of me assuming that you mean it this way, and now I have an attitude, or now I'm thinking some crazy stuff, I start asking my husband, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that so that I don't start thinking differently? And in that moment, it's all about getting clarity. A lot of times we don't ask for clarity. We just go with the assumption that this person has us effed up. And don't get me wrong, some people really do be having us effed up. Some people really do have us like, hold on, like, you could have kept that to yourself. You could have kept that all the way to yourself, right? But for some odd reason, we have these voices in our heads. Not that we're crazy or nothing. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I be having voices in my head telling me, like, do you react or just chill? And a lot of the times when things are happening to me, I don't process it as quickly. Like, I don't pick up the shade as quickly until maybe like 2 minutes after it had already happened. Because if I don't process it, I'm just gonna react. So I'm learning to be like, wait, excuse me, you wanna repeat that? Because if I didn't, I just wanna make sure I heard you correctly the first time. And if you bold enough to say it the second time, which 10 out of 10 chances they're really not bold, that's how I know it'd be shade. But I asked them to repeat themselves, and then I kind of get, okay, so now I can react. And I had a conversation with my mom about this, and she was saying, like, oh, you're different. Like, you have changed immensely, and you're more like reactive to a lot of things. Like, you just go. And I laughed at that, and I'm like, I've always been like this. And she's like, no, you haven't. Even as a kid, you weren't. I said, you weren't always around me as a kid. At school, you didn't see what everybody else saw. Yeah, I was the smart girl, and I did my homework, and I got good grades, and I was what you would consider the perfect daughter. But when somebody had me effed up, oh, baby, you was getting cussed out. Period. And as a kid, I wasn't as vocal because I wasn't given the liberty to be vocal. A lot of times, too, we don't know how to express ourselves because we weren't given that freedom, that vulnerability, that okay to be more vocal. So we grow up thinking that we have to keep things bottled in. We grow up thinking that we can't stand up for ourselves, or if we do stand up for ourselves, we're being combative. We grow up thinking that when we go to work, we allow our managers to talk to us a certain type of way, because we don't want to lose our job. We've allowed our child, like, I don't even want to say like our inner child, but like the way that how I was raised in a Black household, you don't speak up. When you're told to do something, you go ahead and do it. Now, and I can only speak for about my household and what I witnessed, and I've had conversations with other cultures, and some people like, oh no, I cuss my mom out. Like, me and my mom had a relationship where I had the freedom to tell her, and I'm like, damn, I'm about to cuss my mom out. Even when my mom would be having me all the way messed up, I still don't even disrespect her. I just know how to say it in a way of like, okay, I'm letting you know you have me messed up. Let's try to figure this out, so that it doesn't go to where now I feel like I have to defend myself as if you a random woman. And I'm just being real. I'm grown. Like I said, I would never just be calling my mom like out her name or any of that. But sometimes our parents bully us. Okay, sometimes our mothers forget that we're adults, and they think that we are supposed to just, yes, mom, yes, dad, oh, grandma. Like, no, I'm my own woman. And if you say something to me that I don't like, or if I take it as offensive, I'm going to check you on it and I'm going to correct you about it. And that's the thing too that I realized, at least with my family, they're not used to being checked. They're not used to being corrected. They're not used to somebody like saying something to them. They know that I have it in me, but they don't think that I'm going to do it to them. Nah, baby, you are not excluded from any of this. Okay, this is not a limited edition, none of that. What you see is what you get. Like, did y'all forget that y'all raised me to be like this strong-willed woman? And now that I'm here, you don't know how to handle it. But the more you fuck around, the more you will find out. And I'm not saying like be disrespectful. I'm not encouraging that. But what I'm saying is, at some point in your acknowledgement, in your healing stage, the first step is to acknowledge. Call out what is hindering you from moving forward. If it's abuse, call it out. If it's fear, call it out. If it's guilt, call it out. If it's low self-esteem, call it out. If it is worrying, call it out. If you have trust issues, call it out. If you have abandonment issues, call it out. If you have mental if you have depression and anxiety, call it out. I suffer from anxiety. I overthink things, I overanalyze things, and I don't know how to enjoy the moment because I need to make sure that my future is lined up. And that is something that I need to heal from, because that's a generational curse. My family suffers from anxiety and depression. The women in my family, we all suffer from anxiety and depression. That's a generational curse, which we have to call those things out. And one thing that I will say, if you have somebody that's in your life that is the reason that you feel so like stuck and you are like gravitating towards them, you need to call them out by their name. I don't care if they're your boo, your bae, your husband, your wife, your mama, your daddy. Call them out by their name. And don't be afraid if you try to have a conversation with them and they aren't willing to hear you. Remember, you're healing for you. You're not healing for them. I tried to have a conversation with my mom about a lot of things in my life, and it didn't turn into what I expected. I was calm. as calm can be. I would never forget it. It was the day that I went to try on wedding dresses, and it was the most amazing day. It was just her and I. We're going, she's taking pictures, we're laughing, we're having a great time. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're still going to have to be a big girl about this conversation. I needed acknowledgement. I needed to be heard. I needed an apology, okay? I ain't finna hold you. You owe me an apology, ma'am, okay? You put me through a lot, and I need to know why. What did I do, okay? Because I didn't ask to be here, right? That's the mentality that I was going off of. So I try to talk to her. I try to reassure her that I'm not attacking her. I tried to reassure her that this wasn't me saying that she was a terrible parent or any of that nature. It was me clearly expressing to her why our relationship isn't healthy and why I treat her the way that I treat her. And all in all, it went to shambles. It went into complete shambles. And God spoke to me that night as I cried myself to sleep, because my mom was very defensive. My mom was not willing to listen. My mom was so big on being in denial. Oh, I don't remember that. That happened so long ago. Baby, you remember your childhood, and you're older than me. So I know damn well you remember what happened 5, 10, 15 years ago. You know. You know what happened. Let's not play. You remember your life. you remember from the time from your age now, back then, to your childhood. So baby, I know you know what I'm talking about, right? But God spoke to me that night. He said, you cannot force somebody to be ready just because you're ready. That's not your job. You can't be me, right? So I had to learn how to accept that even though my mom was not willing to acknowledge me, I still had to move forward within my healing journey. I still had to get it off my chest because my mom was sleeping good at night. I'm the one tossing and turning, crying to my husband, trying to figure out what is going on. Why can't we have a good relationship? Why doesn't my mom see me? Why doesn't my mom or my dad hear me? Why am I the only one reaching out? I'm going through this. And God said, no, that's not your job. You, even if you don't get the apology that you believe you deserve, you still got to go through the emotion. You still got to go through the feeling. And until you're truly ready to heal, and you're going to have to accept that you may never get what you're searching for. And when I processed that, I woke up feeling refreshed. I felt like that, I kid you not, and I will never forget it. I woke up that next morning, puffy eyes and all, with a smile on my face. And I woke up and I said, thank you, God, for the confirmation that you're there, no matter what. And I like to tell people all the time, everybody isn't going to heal the way that you heal. Everybody doesn't want to process the type of information that you're trying to put out. But the importance of it is you still have to do the work because it's you that need to heal. They may have their own struggles, but you have to allow them, when they're ready, they're going to come to you, right? But during this process of acknowledgement, you need to guard your heart. You need to guard your spirit. You need to guard your mind, because whoever or whatever it is that you're calling out, don't think that you're not going to get some blowback from it. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, you're doing this for a reason. You're doing this because at the end of the day, you want to move on in your life. You want to be free. You want to be happier. You want to be able to wake up and just be like, God, I thank you for freedom. You want to be able to wake up with a smile on your face. And even if you are triggered by things, because I still get triggered by little things, which is how I know that I've just gotten over it, but I haven't healed from it, right? And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into what I need to heal from later down in the seasons. But it's like, when you are truly in getting through this healing stage, little things that used to tick you off won't even matter anymore. Little things that used to rub you the wrong way won't even matter anymore. You get what I'm saying? So I say this to say, whatever you need to acknowledge on today, I don't care what time you're watching this episode. I don't care when you're watching this episode. Whatever time you feel like you need to acknowledge yourself, do it today. Acknowledge yourself today. And let's start this healing journey. Today, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that I need to let go of everything that I still allow to trigger me. Right? Because I am hindering myself from reaching my fullest potential in my business, in my marriage, in my friendships. I need to learn how to communicate when I feel unheard. I need to learn how to communicate when I feel triggered or bothered by something, instead of just shutting down. I need to be more vocal. That's something that I'm calling out. That fear of speaking out, because I don't want to lose a certain type of person, because I've built years, or I have years with this person, but because I want to keep on to that, I choose to be silent instead of being vocal. You get what I'm saying? And let's be real, we all have those moments where we like to spare people. That's something that I need to work on, because not everybody deserves to be spared. Some people deserve to get cut the fuck off after the first offense. But me being me, I give people more benefit than I do doubt, right? That's something that I need to call out. What do you need to call out? And whoever or whatever it is that you need to call out, make sure that you acknowledge it and you stand on it. No matter who's listening, who is in denial, You just make sure that you remember why you began this healing journey in the first place, because you want to be better. But I love you. We did it, y'all. Welcome to the first stage of healing. I pray that God resonates with you on today as you're watching this. I pray that God is working through you. I pray that you get all that you need from this episode, from this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you share with everyone that you know. Don't just be trying to keep all of these goodies to yourself now, child. We being thoughtful all 2023, baby, okay? So I love you guys. God bless you, and I will see you next Thursday.